Hey everyone, I am Abhimanyu Pratap Singh. Today I came with the next video. Today's our topic of discussion will be how to overcome from the guilt and regret. Sometimes we make our target to achieve something, but because of certain mistakes or certain problems, we often don't able to achieve our goal, and because of which in our future we often be in regret or guilt. So, what is the right method and what is the right approach to overcome from this crisis? Because once you have gone through it, now that has made as in past, and everyone is aware that past is not in our hands. We cannot do anything with our past. So the ultimate solution of this problem is that ultimately we have to accept the past. This is the harsh acceptance only, because once we will be keep thinking about it, will not be able to focus on future. If we wanna overcome from that crisis, just immediately we have to accept that because of xyz thing we lose an opportunity, and also need to recognize the mistakes because of which we lose that opportunity, and commit yourself to not alliterate those mistakes. Although whenever you will be about to do that mistake, immediately that remembrance will come in your mind, immediately you will be able to stop yourself. But if you are struggling with deep crisis of that past, then you have to channelize your energy from one area to another, because if you will be keep doing the same things every day, it may create a lot of problem to you. You might not be able to heal properly, although it is mandatory to do one thing every day. This creates a lot of impact in your life, but once there is a kind of a turmoil which have created in your life, now you wanna overcome from that crisis and don't wanna let it to be turmoil in your life, then it is mandatory that and you should try something new. And once you will try something new, you will get the exposure in your life. Although it is just easy to talk but tough to implement on yourself. So let us break down into the practical solution, that how can we implement this entire knowledge on ourselves practically. So gentlemen, on each and every second, commit to yourself that this time you will not do anything, whatever is not related to your career. Although you should also not bother about anything, you have to be well prepared for everything, because anything can happen in your life. Also, you might have worked hard, you might be so diligent, but ultimately, if you didn't achieve your goal, there is a no significance of talking about that. You just have to accept that yes, you failed, but don't let yourself at the same situation that you are a failure, and don't consider yourself as a failure, man, and don't always judge yourself on the basis of those parameters only, because once you committed a mistake, it means there was a little bit lack where you lacked somewhere. Once you will be able to work on those problems, will ultimately able to solve those problems. But most of the time we often think that that is our originality, that we cannot do something productive in our life, and we often start measuring on oneself on the same parameter, which is 100% baseless. Although we can just improve ourselves by recognizing the mistakes, but the problem is that we are just interlinked with the situation. We just attach ourselves from the problem, that something problem happened which because of which happened We are majorly responsible. Although taking accountability from any problem is a good, it is a good habit, but once you have accepted the mistake, but until you will pardon yourself, will not be able to move in your life. Because if someone do something wrong with you, then as a gentleman you pardon him, pardon her. It means you show a leadership quality. So once you have the capability, you have the audacity to show leadership quality with others, so why are you biased with yourself? Although you should taking the side of yours also, because if you are, you should be selfish, you should be selfish in this context. You don't have to bother about anything, but at least to think about yourself. Because the things which had happened in your past, nothing is related to your present. Everything has become a past. The things which you can inculcate in your life in present, that is the learning from that crisis. The things which had happened in your life, but taking the lessons from that crisis, you can inculcate the values in your present. That is the only solution. The thing which had happened, now those things can never ever be rectified. But because of that crisis only, if you will keep wasting your present also, then ultimately you will be regretting in future also. So what is the significance of making your present worst because of that past? Because ultimately whenever you will be in the future, will again regretting for this present, which will become your past ultimately. So just use your wisdom that everything happens from your present. So just make your present intact. Just keep focusing on your present and don't let to waste your present, because ultimately if you will be able to save your present, nothing will be destroyed. Because once you were at xyz time, and that at that time you were destroying your time because of not thinking about your present, this time today you are realizing a kind of a regret or guilt for your past. But the day when your past was your present, at that time you didn't work properly, you didn't bother about that time, and because of which today you are regretting. So that is why just use your wisdom to not let yourself regretting again. Because ultimately whenever you will destroy your present also, whenever you will be in the future, you will again regretting. So what is the significance of it? Ultimately you were in the crisis in the past and will also be in the crisis in future also. So what did you do in your life? Ultimately you will be in the crisis now, will not be able to do something productive or creative in your life. So what is the goal of taking the birth here? And don't be in the fantasy, just try to face the reality. Because the harsh reality of the life is anything can happen. Whatever expectation which you will make in your life, it is not mandatory that you will be able to achieve or unlock those expectations. No, nothing, such things never happen. You should be ready for every kind of consequences in your life. And although I am not that much aged, but whatever experience I have gained from my life, I am talking from that experience only. I am not just saying anything from reading any book, from getting experience from others. No, these are the experience which I have taken from my life. That ultimately, if you will be keep thinking about your past, then will not be able to focus on your present, and because of which you will waste your present also. So there is a no significance of thinking about the past. Although you want, you don't want to think about your past, it is automatically, because of it is automatically you are thinking about your past. But its major solution is this: keep practicing to get non-attached with it. As you are attached with it, because of which you will suffering, and all the for getting happiness you are pushing yourself to suffer. Ultimate target is that you wanna be non-attached with your problems, and you wanna overcome from the crisis. And for overcoming also you have to go through a crisis, but that crisis will be positive crisis. So that will not be considered as a crisis, that will be a pain but not considered as a crisis. So you just don't have to bother about everything. You should be bothering about your present. Once your present will be fine, everything will be fine. Ultimately the mistake which you have taken, ultimately the mistake which you have done in your past, will be able to take a lesson from that past and will be able to focus on your present. Because ultimately whenever your present will be fine, will you will be prouding on yourself in the future. So ultimately the ultimate goal of your life is to just focus on your present and to not let yourself regretting in the future. That is the ultimate solution of the life. So once you were in the present, you were doing something mistakes, and because of which there is a kind of a regret in your life. So that at that time, when your past was your present, at that time give you didn't give your 100%, and because of which today you are regretful. So the same, if you don't wanna to let alliterate the same mistakes, so you have to focus on present. Because ultimately when you will be focusing on your present, when this present will become your past, will be prouding on yourself that yes, although I was just in the crisis, although I was just in the problem, but ultimately I worked on my present, and ultimately I secured my future. So that is all about from my side. If you got a help from myself, and if you are able to inculcate certain values in your life, to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon, because once I will upload any video, you will get the immediate notification in your mobile phone or any electronic gadgets. So that was all about from my side. Thank you, gentlemen.